Imagine a coin so small in value, yet packed with history, cultural symbolism, and a bit of mystery. Welcome to the story of the Australian 2-cent coin. While it may no longer be jingling in the pockets of everyday Australians, this modest bronze coin still holds a firm place in the hearts of collectors and history lovers. But what makes a coin that was worth just 2 cents so captivating? Let's dive deep into the story behind this tiny treasure and uncover what makes it so special. To begin, we need to wind back the clock to 1966, a transformative year in Australian monetary history. This was the year Australia switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to the decimal currency system. Out went the old British-inspired system, and in came dollars and cents. It was a bold move, a complete overhaul of the nation's currency, and the 2-cent coin was born as part of this new decimal family. Minted in rich bronze, the 2-cent coin carried with it a symbolism that stretched far beyond its face value. One of the most striking things about the 2-cent coin is its design. Flip it over and you'll meet the frilled neck lizard, an animal that seems like it jumped straight out of a fantasy novel. With its wide mouth open, its frill flared in a dramatic display, and its tail elegantly curled beneath the number 2, the lizard isn't just decoration, it's a symbol of the wild and wonderful uniqueness of Australia's wildlife. The artist behind this remarkable design was none other than Stuart Devlin, an Australian goldsmith and jeweler appointed as the official designer for the country's new decimal coins. Devlin didn't just want to design coins, he wanted to create miniature masterpieces, and with the 2-cent coin, he did just that. The frilled neck lizard, or Chlamydosaurus kingii, is native to northern Australia. It's famous for the dramatic frill around its neck, which it expands to scare off predators or rival lizards. This display, although fierce-looking, is more bark than bite. The lizard is actually quite timid. Devlin's choice of the frilled neck lizard wasn't just about the animal's appearance. It was a tribute to Australia's diverse and often bizarre fauna. And it worked. The 2-cent coin quickly became one of the most visually striking coins in circulation, and perhaps one of the most loved. But let's not forget the obverse, the head side, of the coin. That's where we find Queen Elizabeth II. Her likeness graced every 2-cent coin from its first minting in 1966 all the way until the coin was withdrawn from circulation. Interestingly, the portrait of the Queen changed over time, reflecting her aging through the decades. These subtle changes in design are another reason collectors are so drawn to Australian coins. Every update tells a story of a different era. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Although the coin was worth just 2 cents, its bronze composition meant that its metal value sometimes exceeded its face value, especially in later years as the price of copper rose. The 2-cent coin is made of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. That warm, reddish hue you see? That's the copper shining through, a metal that, like this coin, only seems to get better with age. Over the years, millions, yes millions, of these coins were minted. They were produced every year from 1966 until 1989, with a few extra minted for collector sets in the early 90s. In fact, in 1966 alone, over 217 million of these coins were struck. Imagine the weight of all that copper rolling around in pockets, tills, and jars across Australia. Despite their abundance, not all 2-cent coins are created equal. Some years had lower mintages than others. Take the 1985 and 1986 coins, for example. These were never released into general circulation. They were only included in mint and proof sets, making them highly sought after today. And then there's the world of errors and varieties, coins that were accidentally misstruck at the mint. A double die, a clipped planchet, or a weak strike can transform a common 2-cent coin into a rare collectible worth dozens or even hundreds of dollars. Perhaps the most famous 2-cent error is the so-called mule coin, where a 2-cent reverse was accidentally paired with the wrong obverse die. These errors are incredibly rare, but if you find one, you've got a real gem on your hands. As time went on, the usefulness of the 2-cent coin began to fade. Inflation chipped away at its purchasing power,